dog, I'm well established. I ain't tryna lead you on, just wanna ask if you might wanna give me your name, explain your status. You know I see you.
Welcome in. You are locked in with Jewel Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. It's Thursday. It's almost the end of the week, so grab your snacks, your beverages, get comfortable because we're about to get into these trending topics and headlines right here on KBLA Talk 1580. I had to let Alicia hit that note. It was a good one. And you know Andy's always on theme. And we're going to be talking about Eve tonight. You know, Eve has been through a lot. She put out her memoir a few months back. And right now, she is sharing her evolution. She is reminding y'all she earned her peace. So we're going to get into those details. Common, he's giving all of the flowers to Jennifer Hudson on a podcast. But some, you know, the social media streets, they are quite petty. And some are listing out all of the different public high-profile relationships that Common has been involved in. And, you know, we understand you learn and you grow, but is Common a rite of passage for the celebrity female? I don't know. We'll talk about it. You know social media is mean. You guys are so mean with the shade. And we're talking a little Shedeur Sanders. He made it to the NFL, maybe not where he wanted to go, and according to the owner, not where the owner necessarily wanted him to be. We'll get into those details, and we'll talk about, is this still, you know, some Deion backlash? Like, why are we speaking on this? But, of course, before we get into that, we got to start the night with a couple of conversation starters. These are things that are flying up and down your timeline, you know, you need to be aware of, and we'll get into the details later. First up, you thought everything was settled with Shannon Sharpe? You thought that him being let go from ESPN was the end of it? We know his brother Sterling will be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this weekend. Shout out to him. We know how much of an inspiration he was to Shannon. They're the first two brothers to be admitted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So, congrats to them. But Shannon and Chad Ochocinco Johnson are being sued for $20 million by Jimalita Tillman. Now, she is a woman who went viral after a flirty moment with Usher during the April 2nd, 2025 concert. You know, it was was it a cherries moment or was it just an up close moment? I cannot recall because, you know, with Usher, it's generally cherries. He's causing confusion, right? So I guess Shannon and Chad made a joke on their Nightcap podcast about her. Well, Tillman claims that they falsely stated that she was married and her husband was divorcing her because of the clip, because of her and Usher. And she says those statements were false and defamatory and caused serious emotional distress. Her legal team is reportedly in talks with Shay Shay Media to resolve the matter quickly. But, I mean, Shannon can't win. He just got hit off for the yin yin. We don't know how much he settled for, but the young lady Gabrielle was suing him for $50 million. So we know probably at least half of that, right? He just lost his job with ESPN. Club Shay Shay and Nightcap are balling out. However, he did lose a few sponsors related to this lawsuit. So, you know, Shannon has always talked about how thrifty he is. And we know Chad Ochocinco Johnson also talks about being extremely thrifty. I would expect the purse strings to tighten a bit more. However, I do think that this kind of seems like a meritless lawsuit. You were in a public stadium. They were making a joke, not as fact, but we'll see how it goes. Andy?
Now, you know that Chad Ochocinco is going to be on First Take this season.
Interesting.
So I don't know if that may change considering this lawsuit now.
Well, I think this lawsuit is rather benign. It's about a joke, not about actions per se that, you know, were deemed harmful.
Okay.
So.
And does Shannon feel some kind of way with Chad Ochocinco working with Stephen A. and First Take, this upcoming football season?
I mean, I would say maybe just a tad, but you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. When we come forward, we're going to get more into these trending topics and headline. We're also joined by Yolanda Davidson tonight, the biased opinion. So stay tuned. When we come forward, all of that.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Agnes was in deep trouble with the IRS.
I owed the IRS a lot of money. I did not know what I was going to do. I was scared.
Agnes caught a break and found out about Optima Tax Relief.
But when I called Optima Tax, they guaranteed me that they were going to help me out the best that they can. And they did.
Optima stopped the IRS.
No more telephone calls, no more letters. Optima Tax took care of everything. I can finally sleep at night. I was stress-free.
Agnes was finally free from her IRS nightmare.
It was like a burden was lifted off of me, and it was a great feeling.
Are you in deep trouble with the IRS? You might want to listen to Agnes.
I would refer Optima Tax Relief to anyone because they got me debt-free from owing the IRS any more money.
Call Optima right now for your free consultation. Call 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
We're back ready to hit these trending topics and headlines. But before we do, you know how this goes down. 800-920-1580. That's how you can get in on the conversation. Or you can join us on social media. KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill. Also, there's a YouTube chat. We get busy in there. And they're already on the go with lots of commentary. Download the app so you can catch any episodes you might have missed. Leave us a message. Do all of the things. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not breaking down these topics alone tonight. I am joined by producer, community activist, writer, podcaster, all of the things. Yolanda Davidson on Instagram where she gives her unfiltered take on these pop culture headlines and community news. Welcome back, Yolanda. How are you this evening?
I am absolutely marvelous.
We're glad to have you. I am amazing. Now listen, before we get into Eve, I've been meaning to talk about this for the past couple of nights. Just because I feel like we got to spread the clownery that happens in the WNBA as well, right? Just to keep y'all aware. So a couple of incidents happened, one on July 28th, one on July 29th. One of them has me looking sideways at everybody that was at the Atlanta Dream versus Golden State Valkyries game, right? Let's start there. This was the most recent thing. On the 29th, while play was happening on the court, someone threw out a neon green sex toy. I don't know if I can say that word, Andy.
Dildo. You could say it. Dildo.
Well, Andy said it for me. Onto the court while the ladies are playing. Why are you guys playing? What does that mean? How did you get that through security? Thought you got to bring clear bags into arenas. And why? 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 The second one is a style tip. Okay? And I love Kalia Copper. She balls out, right? Kalia plays for, I think she plays for the Mercury. So the Mystics and Phoenix Mercury had a game the other night. And what I'm going to say is, Kalia, baby, sew in weave. You should not be wearing, and I've seen y'all girls do it, and I know you want to be fly on the court, baby hairs laid, lace hair, melted weave, what lace. However, when that wig slips mid-game, you should not be blocking a foul worried about if your wig is slipping. That is highly inappropriate. Kalia's wig slipped off during the game, right? A timeout was called. She ran to the back to fix her wig, to secure the lace, to secure the wig. And I guess someone in the crowd was heckling her in a very inappropriate way. So kudos to the security team and staff in the arena for ejecting that fan. However, baby, don't be wearing no lace front wig on the court. I know you girls are fly. I know you were laid. But go to a good old-fashioned weave, because that mess ain't going to move. That's all I'm saying about that. All right, let's get into Eve, okay? So, we know Eve, First Lady of the Rough Riders. I don't know if she's still that, but, you know, that's what we called her.
The GOAT.
First Lady, Gumball Lady now.
First Lady of Gumball. Andy says she's the GOAT as far as female hip-hop goes. I think Eve is up there. Andy's not having the debate. He said no. That's a conversation for another day. We've started it. We've had it a little bit, but, you know, another day. But in an interview with Angie Martinez, right, she reminded people that, you know, she has grown and growth is not free and it's not fast, right? That you go through an evolution as a person, and when you are living your life publicly and in front of people, they see everything, your missteps, all of that. And so Angie was asking her about the idea that Eve went white and got a billionaire and life just clicked together. So this is basically her response to that.
Are you living are you like the poster girl for the soft life right now?
Yes, in a way that, yes, because I worked on myself. So it's not just soft life because of the man I'm with, because some people have this idea of what my life is because of this man or whatever. It's because I've worked hard on my own.
That is perception, by the way. You married the billionaire, and you have figured out a life, and you've chosen a different life. Down yonder, but overseas.
But yeah, that's because everybody says that. And I'm like, first of all, before I met him, and he's not a billionaire, I need to clear that up. He's not a billionaire. He ain't broke, but I ain't broke either. Yeah. So I'm not going to be with a broke dude.
Heard you.
You know what I mean? So, but he's, you know, before I met him, I was doing work. But because I have him, it helped me do better work. Because he's a good dude. I'm like really lucky. Like, but beyond that, people who know me intimately, my friends, know that I don't stop working on myself. So I do all do all the things. I do the healing, I do the acupuncture, I do the spinal energetics, I do the Reiki, I do the breath work. I do, like, that's my life. That's who I am, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've done the work on you.
I do the work, yeah.
Nobody has come along and fixed you or healed you.
Nobody can't fix nobody. Period. Anyway, that's just
damn. Somebody I don't know who's watching this right now, but somebody needed to hear that real bad.
Please.
Nobody's coming against you. Nope. You have to do it.
So shout out to Eve because she's got the husband, the London mansion, the baby boy, and a Grammy legacy. And she said, I earned it all. I worked hard. I worked on myself. I took those bumps and bruises. And let's not forget, Eve was Eva Destruction. She was stripping in Philly, right? Became the first lady of the Rough Riders, and then was starring in a sitcom named after her, which I loved, by the way, on UPN. She evolved as an actress. It was rough at the beginning, but you know what? It's okay. I was sad when Queens got canceled on ABC most recently. She was also a talk show host. So, I mean, she's holding herself down, and like she said, she's coming with coin too. So, Yolanda, what are your thoughts on Eve and her evolution?
I mean, she came a mighty long way from Stevie J to London.
I mean, Stevie J,
They had a very, very, very toxic relationship. Like, horrible.
And I think drugs was a part of that, which fed into that, which, usually leads you to be in situations and places that you might not envision yourself, or it wouldn't be the plan, but something else got in the mix.
I mean, I would think that she's in her mid-40s now, and she grew up. I mean, how long was she going to be? But she stopped working in the hip-hop world. So once she walked away from hip-hop, I feel like she just evolved. People who are still in it, they're in the culture, and a lot of the culture is ignorant.
A little bit of toxic.
Yeah, it's just a lot of, he said, I mean, look at Nicki Minaj. She was the queen of hip-hop. She's been involved in a bunch of petty Instagram posts going after people. Like, she could have her attorneys do that stuff if it's really a financial issue, but that's just the culture of hip-hop. That's how they interact, and Eve just stepped away from it. I never really remember her being in any beefs or anything like that, but that was so long ago.
She had some beefs. That her and Lil' Kim took shots at each other in songs, and there was a couple of other things that went down, but I mean, she also was very young at the time. And two, one thing I will say in defense of hip-hop, so to speak, is that it's just a little over 50 years old. There were no real hip-hop elders to guide, to issue guidance in that way. And we see it now. I mean, not all of them should you really want guidance from, but the ones that give sage advice, good advice, helpful advice, not all the time do the youth, as in with any other sector of society, want to hear all that stuff. They like, nah, you old. I got it now. So sometimes you got to go through something to get through something. And I think that's where we are. We have a caller on the line, Eric from Carson. He wants to chime in on Eve. Eric, what's going on? What's on your mind tonight?
Jill, Yolanda, what's up?
Hey.
Eve, she married a millionaire who is from another country, who is of another race, ethnicity, and yet she's still trying to establish the fact that she's an independent black woman. And so the question mark is, why is that so extra important to establish all this when you didn't find a man in this country, you didn't find an average man, you went all out of the ordinary, and now you want to establish that you don't need him for nothing.
That's not what she said, Eric. You hear things with tainted ears. That's not what she said. I'm going to let Yolanda respond to you first, and then I'll chime in.
Respectfully, I didn't hear that either, but I do see how you could have taken it that way, because she wanted to make sure that everybody knows she's still a standalone, that she still had her own money, her own career before she met Mr. Gumball. Yes, Mr. Gumball is a multi-million-dollar person. His brand is huge in Europe. So that definitely gave her the opportunity to do other things that she couldn't have done before. And she did give him credit for that. They said she living the soft life. Well, she said, well, I'm doing the work myself. But you have the comfort to do the work yourself because you're married to not a billionaire, but definitely 100 millionaire for sure. So I see how you could have taken it that way, but I'm with Jill. I didn't take it that way.
So I'm going to expand a little bit. My thoughts might differ slightly from our contributor this evening. But I will say this. I think that the reason why it is not so much about saying, I don't need my man. It is just a gentle reminder, because a lot of times I feel that we as Black women, especially Black women that are successful or have achieved something, someone will always attribute it to a man. They will forget the work and the input that the woman put in for her career. Early on, how many people were crediting Eve's success to breaking out with the Rough Riders and being a part of that crew? You know, Andy's looking at me like I'm crazy for saying that, but hey, there's Eve and there's Drag On. Both were in the Rough Riders. Not everybody made an impact. Do you see what I'm saying? And so there is, you know, Eve and Emil. Emil was the only female in her crew, and though she might have had some verses that we appreciated, and how you feel, maybe a bop on that solo album, it didn't do anything.
Pause. Are you insinuating that Eve didn't make an impact?
No,
Okay.
Exactly the opposite,
Okay,
Andy.
okay.
I am saying that a lot of times, like Little Kim, a lot of her early success, people will be quick to drop in, well, Biggie wrote her rhymes. So, do you know what I'm saying? Eve is someone that had her own pen. Regardless, her stature, the performance that she gave allowed her to excel and accelerate, and she was successful in other areas. And the idea that, oh, she's finally made it as a success because she is married to a white billionaire in London, I think is the stereotype or the trope that is causing her to say, hey, reminder, I did the work for myself internally, and I had a couple of achievements and a little bit of coin when I met dude. So I soft life myself a little bit, and he is an added value. Do you know what I'm saying? Not so much, I don't need no man, I can do this, as Eric, I believe, is taking it. Is that from personal experience, Eric? Do you find that women, I'm going to say Black women because you specifically said Black women, have a I don't need no man approach when it comes to dealing with you? So are we projecting a bit? Or is it just something you've observed? Either way, I'm curious.
Thank you. I'm just observing because we're talking about a Black woman, and I'm just, wondering why, no pun intended, but out of all the people that she could have married, like Janet Jackson, who I love, by the way, why do these Black women go out and marry these men from other countries? Because out of all the women that I would have thought that would marry a white man from another country, Eve would be the last person that I would think would do that. No disrespect to whatever reason she married him, but it certainly wasn't to be a couple and be one, because she's trying to promote her individualism.
People love who they love. You never know where love's going to find you, Eric. So if are you married?
I'm not married, but I
never know.
Definitely,
you got to soften your heart a little bit. You never know where love may find you.
You seem really intelligent. I like the way you think. I just want to ask one final question. Why do you think Eve married a millionaire from another country, yet she is very important to her, obviously, that she wants to be known for her own cred?
Didn't I just answer that? I think I did.
You answered that?
I think she married a millionaire because they vibed and she liked him and they hit it off. I mean, he's a millionaire with a few kids already from outside their marriage, and they like each other, and they clearly are really good friends. Like, when I watch them on social media and I just watch their life, this has been going on for a long time now. If it was just like I'm trying to get some clout or whatever, it would have been over by now. I think they genuinely love each other, and I think that's why she married him.
Look, I'm going to speak for Eric real quick.
Uh-oh.
For the Black men, we are jealous. We are upset that, come on now, Eve, you represented the culture, and you represented it hard. You stood out in a group full of just rough riders, right? And you still kept it classy, sexy, and everything. You were what, 5'7" thick in the thighs, you feel me? We want you. The Black men want you. And you go get this white man.
A+, I'm sure that Eve dated a lot.
She did, Stevie J. You messed it up for her.
She kissed a lot of frogs to find her prince. He just happened to be a prince in London.
And she had a white frog. You know, she dated Sean Penn that didn't go the greatest.
You ain't got to throw that in our face, though.
I'm just saying.
Oh, he a billionaire. He a millionaire.
She said not billionaire, but he's cool. Mm-hmm. He's cool. You know, listen, do better. We aren't. All I'm saying is you guys get mad at us when we ask, why do these successful men that are the cream, epitome, sometimes, of our community marry white women or others? You know, people like what they like. There's a whole conversation and science behind a lot of that we can have at another time. When we come forward, more trending topics and headlines.
I face not, want not, can't stand frauds. Ridiculous practice for the title hard. Me pick up the litter, I was born a bubble dog. Born to chain gang shit, born to stand guard. Play games, you left nameless, fame ball. Promise that it's never painless, deep hard. Convince you can overtake the heat, let's start. Strong as a stallion made, you better guard. And she feminine with pretty women friends, all dimes. Timberlands is how I like my men in all minds. Rough ride, you the hard head, soft.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Former Vice President Kamala Harris is releasing a new memoir, 107 Days, on September 23rd.
Since leaving office, I've spent a lot of time reflecting on those days, talking with my team, my family, my friends, and pulling my thoughts together. In essence, writing a journal that is this book, 107 Days.
It covers what she calls the, quote, shortest presidential campaign in modern history. Sean Diddy Combs' legal team is asking a judge to overturn his Mann Act conviction, arguing he did not profit, arrange, or engage in the acts. They say his role was limited to voyeurism, which is not considered prostitution in many states. And Black veteran Illinois Congressman Danny Davis is retiring after 15 terms. The 83-year-old Democrat will endorse State Rep LaShawn Ford to replace him in the 7th District. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Pasadena slowing down 210 eastbound. This is getting away from Sierra Madre. Delays heavy and slow as you continue ahead towards just about Grand Avenue as you continue into Glendora. We're also looking at the 10 eastbound. Overall delays here starting Santa Monica. Away from Cloverfield to the 5, ahead in City Terrace from City Terrace Drive as you make your way to Azusa. And in Pomona from the 57, you remain on the brakes in stretches all the way to Cherry in Fontana. Even the 60 eastbound's backing up out of East LA. This is getting away from just about Lorena Street all the way to the 605.
Emergencies can happen at any time. That's why building an emergency kit and having a plan is so important. Southern California Edison stays ready for the unexpected, and they encourage you to be prepared too. For more information and to update your outage alerts, visit SCE.com/be prepared.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The NFL preseason kicks off tonight with the Chargers playing the Detroit Lions in the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. Live coverage on NBC. The Hall of Fame class of 2025 will be inducted Saturday. Among the honorees, former Chargers tight end Antonio Gates. Congratulations to Doug Williams, the first black quarterback to play in a Super Bowl and win one. Williams has been selected to receive the President's Lifetime Achievement Award, the highest civilian honor for a U.S. citizen. Williams, now 69, is a front office executive with the Washington Commanders. When the Washington franchise was known as the Redskins, the former Grambling star led the team to a Super Bowl win over Denver in 1988. Williams was named MVP. The ceremony for the President's Lifetime Achievement Award is scheduled for Saturday, August 9th on the campus of Howard University. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And By the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time. Whenever news breaks, while we're on the air, it's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580. And we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. And I thank you, thank you.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
They say what's happening, we say that's it. They lie, we coming back for them. They might say, but they don't know. They say, they don't know.
They say I lost his mind, but in the scheme of things, I never lost the rhyme. The thin line between love and hatred. I'm the black pill in the matrix of saturated life. They say life is what you make it, so I wait quick on a spaceship so I can take it. It's high as the stakes get when paper get low. I be telling Derek, tell Kara, get us a show. Little calm, I make righteous get low. The richest man ain't necessarily good with dope. They say you went wild, yeah, that's what they say. My couldn't tell it was me like Jamie and Ray, painting the day with focus squad bars.
It's Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to Common. Although, a bit more partial to common sense, I believe. Early Common. Common's a poet, though, an actor. What else is he? A professional boyfriend?
A serial dater.
Serial monogamous. All of the things. We're going to get into Common and what he has professed about his latest love, Jennifer Hudson. In a moment, I'm not alone this evening. I am joined by Yolanda Davidson, the Biased Opinion, on Instagram, and we are getting into these topics. And listen, Eve got the people hype. They have a lot to say. So I'm going to get to some of these comments in the chat because it's a lot happening. Pretty Brown Mimi says, my question to Eric, why do black men marry white women? Trent the Artist says, let's look at the track record of Eve and Janet and the men they dated. From the outside looking in, they both tried very hard to be in relationships with black men and were unsuccessful. And that is true. They give, a varied monetary amounts they dated. So, Morris Phillips says, Eric sounds a little bitter. We need a meet and greet conference for singles. Truemonger, I lost it. Truemonger had something interesting to add. He said it's foolishness, and the comments were co-signing it. So, Forrest Harrison says, whenever you have to mention how much money your significant other has and nothing else about the person during an interview, that lets me know you're not completely satisfied with your choice. But she did mention other things. She said he was a cool dude. He held her down. He taught her stuff. They went through stuff together. You just weren't paying attention to anything outside of that man got coin. That's all I'm saying. Trigger, maybe. Seems like it. Just a little, perhaps. I don't know. Andy?
It's a huge trigger. Let's just be honest. But like, I understand at the same time she had to specify that because, there was reports that, he was a billionaire, right? So off the rip, think the image that she portrayed, you would think that she wants a brother. So for her to just go on the opposite side of the spectrum, and the fact that he's a billionaire on top of that, yeah.
Multi-millionaire, very successful, wealthy. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, but as pointed out, she tried. Stevie J released her sex tape.
Yeah, Stevie J, you messed it up for all of us.
A couple other things. Y'all out there, not you personally, I'm saying y'all. Truemonger says, why is it a flex for black women to get with a white man? The same reason why it was a flex for black men to get with white women.
Is it a flex, though?
It's not really a flex. The point, and I think the idea and the sentiment really behind both, in theory, is that in theory, they have been receiving bad treatment from the opposite sex of their own race. And now, with some, the way that some people are taking it is they are finally getting their due, getting to be loved in the way that they should be loved and valued and cherished. But it didn't come from somebody black. So, I don't know. I mean, the thing is this, on both sides, why can you cheer when it's your fellow brother or sister, man to man, woman to woman, but not for the opposite? What, we aren't happy for love? My thing is this, though, right? And this is where I think the line is kind of drawn, and it usually is for me. Have you disparaged black women, if you're a man, or black men, in justifying your choice of dating interracially? Love who you love, things happen. As long as you aren't saying, yeah, I had to go get me a white woman because these black women, if that's not a part of your conversation, I choose not to care. But if you're saying, I am elevating up over this person, these women, all they do is this, they only have this, they only want this, then sometimes you end up like Shannon Sharp. I didn't say that. I'm just playing. But listen, we're going to get into Common, right? And Fahima's already put a little bit in the chat of what social media has been saying. She says, Common confessed his undying love for Kim Jones, Erykah Badu, Taraji P. Henson, Serena Williams, Angela Rye, Tiffany Haddish, and now Jennifer Hudson. Oh, by the way, you guys left off Fatima. I can't remember Fatima's last name. Choreographer extraordinaire. She was really good friends with Aaliyah. A couple others in there. I always call Common a rite of passage for black women's success in Hollywood, because a lot of them have dated them. It's just a joke. No shade. But as much as people talk about women being ran through, wouldn't Common qualify as by those standards?
Oh, he definitely for the streets.
I mean, I'm just saying. But let's listen. Well, no, not listen. I'm sharing with you what he had to say about his relationship with Jennifer and what it's on. He was on the Mama I Made It podcast, and he said that dating Jennifer Hudson is his version of Sierra's prayer. He said, it's like those things you pray for and don't get until you're ready. She's soulful, talented, gifted, and one of the greatest vocalists of all time. He even used the phrase equally yoked. We don't hear that often, maybe third grade Bible study. But no, he is professing his love. He's already said that he intends to marry her. What's the wait? I don't know. We've already listed out some of the women that he's been involved with, but he said that J-Hud came along after his growth. So those women were seeds along the way in his journey to the bloom that he has made now. You know, divine timing or something. Listen, Chicago love affair, right? A Chicago love story. We love to hear it. Yolanda?
Common is 50 plus years old now, right?
He is.
If Common wanted to marry Jennifer Hudson or any of the other people that we have listed, he would have done it. He's just a love bomber.
You know, something. Yeah. Oh. We forgot Laura Dern. I know she's not black, but he did date Laura Dern for a minute. So there you go. Laura Dern is an actress. She's a white actress, an older actress. She also dated Baron Davis for a quick second. She dated, oh gosh, what was the young guy's name?
What did she play on? I can see her face, I think.
See, now I can't think of what Laura movie. Let me see. Laura Dern. This is what Google's from. Laura Dern, Jurassic Park. She was Dr. Ellie in Jurassic Park. She was in the Certain Women 2016, The Master. She was on a show on HBO called Enlightenment. But I know she was in Jurassic Park, and she was a part of Big Little Lies. She was in Big Little Lies with yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Show me.
Andy.
Considering Common's stereotypes, should Jennifer Hudson proceed with caution?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And she went through a lot to her marriage to the dude that used to be on I Love New York, and then he became a wrestler and stuff. So, you know, tread lightly. But they've been together for a minute. She's a grown woman. So, again, he might be ready. He's over 50. He might have reached his time. Like, well, it's about that time. They both have adult children. Well, her son is not a full adult, but he's in his, teens. So he will be perhaps off to college soon. Might be time. You said, Okay. All right. Let's get into Shedeur Sanders. So when we come forward, we'll get into Shedeur. All of that on the other side.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Become a U.S. citizen with the help of the Los Angeles Public Library. Get free and confidential information on immigration and citizenship. Visit lapl.org/NAI to find your nearest library, or call us at 213-228-7390. That's lapl.org/NAI or 213-228-7390. And start your path to becoming a U.S. citizen with the help of the Los Angeles Public Library. Call 213-228-7390 or visit lapl.org/NAI.
If you're an adult in need of an accredited high school diploma, the Los Angeles Public Library can help. You could earn one for free in as few as 5 months, online with 24/7 access. You also get a personal academic coach, plus special training focused on 9 in-demand industries, as well as a resume and cover letter to advance your career. Visit the website at lapl.org/diploma. That's lapl.org/diploma.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
my name is Raquel Graham, and I have a big announcement to make. I have my own radio show. It debuts on KBLA 1580 on August 2nd, and it is called Entrepreneuring. I'm an inventor, a Shark Tank winner, entrepreneur for over a decade, and a proud mom of 2. I created this show because I know firsthand that entrepreneurship doesn't have just one look. Entrepreneuring celebrates what building a business really looks like. Big, medium, small, and micro. Some of us are running multi-million-dollar operations. Some of us are braiding hair in our kitchens. We're bakers, grant writers, laundromat owners, event promoters. Mark your calendars. Please tune in August 2nd, KBLA 1580 at 1 p.m. Pacific time. No question is too big or small. Let me know what you'd like for me to cover. See you then.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back, and it's Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So we've talked a lot about Shedeur Sanders. We talked about Dion earlier this week and him successfully beating bladder cancer. We also talked about potentially his new boo, Karuchi.
Ow.
Shout out to my Taurus sister. And she has just continued to post on Instagram. As a matter of fact, she posted another influencer trip that she's going on with no mention or acknowledgement of what is going on. Like a true Taurus. Just going to shine and we'll keep it moving. You know, much like Janet, we know how to keep a secret. So, recently, there were some words that were expressed by the owner of the Cleveland Browns. And it took a couple people by, storm, because it's like, why are we hearing about this? About the 144th pick from the owner saying he didn't want them? Jimmy Haslam, this is the owner of the Cleveland Browns. I know you know, but in case you didn't, these were his exact words. If you had told me Friday night we were going to pick Shedeur, I would have said, that's not happening. Despite his hesitation, he obviously allowed the decision to be made by the general manager, Andrew Berry. And Haslam said Berry had conversations with the front office that Saturday and ultimately made the call. Haslam said that at the end of the day, it's Berry's call. He made the call, and he said that he didn't expect or plan that, but he trusts the people that he has in place to make football decisions. Now, I get it. He was asked a question, but we're just getting started at camp. That doesn't sound like a vote of confidence in your team. That sounds like, yeah, I'm just here so I don't get fined. We can't have a little more enthusiasm? Is it something personal? It feels personal. Like, again, am I saying lie to us? Not necessarily. But why are we so candid and free? I swear, this nepotism, as we were calling it, we saw the same thing with Bronny James. Lots and lots and lots of conversations about what was Bronny? 52nd, 54th pick? Which was he? 55th pick. And now, 114. Again, I'm not expecting the fans not to have conversation, but it is just interesting how the children of the stars of the league are being treated now once they come in. It's almost like there's a slight backlash based off of the perceived power or positioning of the parents. So, I don't know. Yolanda, you have any thoughts on this?
I do. LeBron James Jr., he just got a bad rap. I feel like he never really said anything. He just wanted to play basketball. Whereas Shedeur was acting like he was going to be the number 1 draft pick, all world, rolling around in his Rolls Royce truck, the whole NIL thing. He's got money,
the watch,
everything, just the bravado. He's Deion Sanders' son. Deion Sanders has instilled in his children to be bold, to be confident, to know. I know that if he's given the chance to play football, he's going to show and prove. LeBron James, he doesn't seem as confident in his game yet. And I think he did kind of get more ushered in than Shedeur. Shedeur, I definitely feel like what you said, had to suffer some because of his own personal attitude and also the backlash from his father saying who he didn't want him to play for. But other parents have done similar things. I've never heard of someone who was projected to go in the first 10, go all the way to 144. I don't know if that's ever happened. And they're not hurt.
We're going to see. We are not too far from seeing, opening snaps, at least those practice games or whatever. I'm wondering what the substitution pattern is going to look like. Are we going to see Shedeur hit the field at all in preseason? What are their plans for him in season 1? Are they really treating him like just another rookie, the 144th pick? Or is he getting a little bit of the, subtle shoulder bumps in the hallways and stuff because he is Deion's son? Andy?
I think it would behoove ownership to allow Shedeur to play because he's definitely going to bring butts in seats.
Facts.
Right? If we're going to compare him to like a Bronny James, yeah, maybe his game is not up to par per se, but let me tell you something. When it's 2 minutes left in the game and they throw in Bronny, the whole arena is over here chanting his name. And I think the same thing would happen in Cleveland. It's unfortunate because he's on the depth chart. He's the 4th quarterback. So he's definitely going to have to go out there and play his butt off. But, if I'm ownership, I'm like, yo, throw him in there for a couple series and just see what it's like. I think there was just this clip on social media where he was practicing with the what they call the first teams or whatnot. And, I mean, he looked pretty solid. But, once again, man, Deion Sanders, a trailblazer, he kind of shifted culture in a lot of ways when it came to college football. So when you have things that are already established and you got this person that's kind of bucking the system to a degree, of course they're not going to like it. And this is just going to be all residual backlash on Shedeur.
It is, but I also don't want to see him turned into a Jeremy Lin moment or an Austin Reeves where, Mark Madsen back in the day where he's like, they're rolling him out for a mascot and to get the crowd going. I think he deserves more than that.
He's really talented, though, so I think he can overcome that. Now, if he was kind of borderline, kind of whatever, then I feel you on that, but he can play, though.
Truemonger says, when it's white nepotism, they love it. These are facts.
Well, I don't really believe that Shedeur is nepotism. He earned his space. Like, he played well. Facts. They took a team that nobody knew of, and they played well.
But the question is, can he do it without Travis Hunter, right? Because he's always had strong targets to be paired with. As a matter of fact, his entire college career, he was played with Travis Hunter. And
Dad is a coach, too.
Those are two major things that he is going to be without and have to, prove himself as far as that transition. So I think that is what adds a bit to the nepotism. And just by default, the attention that he received, because realistically, even coming out of high school, although, once again, I believe in high school he was coached by his dad, he was looked at, but he wasn't a top prospect like that. Do you know? And I'm not saying that I think Shedeur isn't talented because we've seen him do some things, but that specter, until he proves something without those two individuals being attached to him, it's going to be hard for him to shake the nepotism label. So we shall see, though. Short amount of time. Listen, thank you guys for locking in each and every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Thank you to our guests this evening, Yolanda Davidson. Yolanda, tell them where they can find you. Oh, you had a topic. You got 60 seconds. Hit it. I'm sorry. I forgot.
My brother Najee Ali, he called out black women in media bloggers about a situation that's going on here in L.A., a young lady who's a hairstylist in L.A. She's been charged with murder. They held her ever since, I think, last November. She just got out on bail. And he said that we're not covering the story and she's not a murderer. She was, it was self-defense. I've done a little research. I'm not really ready to support her yet because I don't know enough, but she has a video out. I just want to say to him, we're always here for black women. I'm always here for black women. I support black women. However, I'm also here for victims' families. The guy went to parent. He was 4 years younger than us. His name was Jeremy Peterson, I believe. And, you know, I just need more information. I'm not going to just jump on the story, but I do want to acknowledge, you know, the victim and also the woman who's saying that she was attacked by this person and that it was self-defense. But LA County is charging her with murder, with a deadly weapon. So clearly they're looking at it different than she's looking at it, but I don't know enough about it to really support her in that way. But I just want justice to be served for the family. And if she is truly innocent, I want her to be able to prove her innocence.
Well, we will talk more about that another time. Thank you for getting that in and keeping us aware. Coming up, the voice of reason, Zoe Williams. I'll talk with you guys tomorrow. Thanks.
Slice made of iguana, stuff the walls for tomorrow. God look like trying to borrow, blow a budget. Like we gon' tuck it till it all falls down. When this chess game is played smarter, swear this life is so awesome.
All things considered, I've been forgiven. How to pack the blizzard in Honda Civics. Took fatherless women and showed them living. Left mama the children.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries says the party is watching Texas Republicans' redistricting efforts and